It's Hans at happierman.com. Today's topic is making sense of your past. I want to think about it in terms of your past. Your past is probably confusing enough rather than the past, right? The past, while very, very interesting. I love history, by the way. I loved history in grade school, high school, and college. Those were my favorite classes, kind of by far. I loved learning about that and reading and digging into it and listening to lectures and reading the books. And I just didn't see how I could make a living at it, so I didn't focus on it. But it was always good as a pastime, and it still is. It still fascinates me, and I love history, but I also love my own history, meaning I like to spend a bit of time kind of reflecting back on my own past, trying to figure out why things happened the way they did, and not in the complaining sense and being a victim of the past, but just to figure out why it happened. And by figuring out why things happened the way they did, or putting your best guesstimate of why they happened that way, then you can sidestep problems of this nature or similar in the future. And that's, I think, the beauty of studying your own past, trying to make sense of it, is to sidestep future problems and not blaming people or the circumstances for where you're at. You are where you are today, now, and there's nothing you can do about it, but you can use that past knowledge to say, I guess I see why that probably happened that way, right? Your parents, they raised you the way they did, and probably that was the best they could do at the time. Your teachers taught you the way they did. That was probably the best they could do at the time. Whatever you said, did, and acted on, that was probably the best you could do at the time, given the situation. So, you see, that way you avoid this playing the victim. And if you play the victim, now your life's never really going to get any better, right? Because if you say you're the victim, that means you can really never make any adjustments or improvements. So don't do that. All my articles and videos and books and things are based on what can you do to make your life better, happier, more prosperous, more abundant, more fun, whatever makes it better, more happiness, right? But I just love that idea of looking back at the past and saying, yeah, if I can keep my own past kind of firmly noted, that way I don't have to continue to make the same mistakes I made in the past in the future. And this past, making sense of your own past, it isn't just about the mistakes and the frustrations and the problems. You also want to look back at your past for your successes and the great times, because that is really where the magic happens. Because when you reflect back on those great times and your success, that gives you tremendous amounts of happiness, thinking, wow, I really loved doing that. That was a great time. That was really a cool thing I did. I really loved doing X, Y, and Z, meeting so-and-so, doing such and such, right? To reflect on the success, and then maybe there's things from the past, the things that you did leading up to that success that you can mimic in the future, or something similar. For example, maybe you were a great high school athlete, and obviously if now you're not in high school, being a high school athlete is not something that you can do again, right? That's out of the out of the question. You know, you might be too old for even a college athlete or something else, but maybe you can recapture some part of that being a great high school athlete that you especially brought you a lot of satisfaction. Was it the athleticness of it? Could you get enjoyment athletically from some other thing, right? So when I was in high school, I played the offense and defensive line, a lineman, big guys play the line, and I got a lot of satisfaction from that. And to this day, I still very appreciative of that time. And I think that's probably why one of the reasons I love lifting weights and weight training and getting stronger and being big and strong because of that. I love the feeling of kind of being able to, be one of the strongest guys around, being the biggest and the strongest. I love that. So that's where I like doing that. That gives me the satisfaction. The other thing about high school athletics, people might appreciate that and give you like some attaboys and some praise and some talk about it, right? Well, there's other things you can do in your life now that would give you that kind of feeling that you're longing for from your high school athletics. If you take steps in your career or on your spare time that people appreciate and do that verbally, that might give you some of the same feelings. So I know I enjoy getting that from work and getting that in my spare time too. So it's something to keep in mind, is use your past to explore the good stuff. The stuff that made you happy in the past, maybe it can make you happy again. Certainly, you should enjoy reminiscing to yourself about your great times, right? About the ladies you knew, the mountains you climbed, the athletic stuff you did, the jokes you told, the fun you had, whatever success you had. So give that idea some thought, all for now.